Mr. Salako, what would you adduce to the reason people do not, subscribe to the fact that they have to be environmentally responsible when it comes to the usage of some of these things that, cause hazard to the environment? Because because back in the day, I remember growing up, we used to do sanitation, environmental sanitation. Was it the last Saturday of the month? And then later on, it stopped, even here in Lagos. The only time you get to hear about it is maybe on Thursdays for market people. How about people that live in their homes? So how much of awareness do you think we are making for people to have it at the back of their mind, in their subconscious, that this is the proper way to use this thing and the proper way to dispose of all of this, environmentally unfriendly materials that we use?
Thank you for that question. I already mentioned in terms of implementation of policy. If this policy is going to be introduced, before the introduction, I expected the policy maker in the civil service to have carried out a stakeholders forum among the in the ministries and agencies that federal government is trying to introduce this, and these are the provisions, these are what we are going to make for you. You have to now start the changing to the norm, because there is one thing that you are used to, the lifestyle you are used to before, now is going to change. So the social implication is that changing people's perception from the way they used to behave to new one is not easy. So it's involved the use of maybe continuous education and awareness by the people who are introducing the policy. So the issue of environmental sanitation, that alone, it has been proven that it cannot solve the problem of environmental pollution. It cannot solve. You are only wasting manpower. So what we can only do is that environmental sanitation should be done almost every day by allowing people to know that throwing of this PET bottle in our street is prohibited. It has implication. If you throw it on the street, it's going to clog the water channel and it's going to cause flooding. And the effect again is that it's contributing to greenhouse gas emission. So all this, we have to let them know about the health implication.
But they won't do this. They won't do the right thing. You find people, in fact, driving the most exotic cars on the road, and then they finish taking anything from the sachet water or bottled water, and they throw the bottle on the street. Even when some people will even try to call them to account, but they will go ahead and start cursing these people and not even respecting what should be environmentally friendly.
I agree with you. It depends on who is leading. Can you do that during Governor Fashola's era in Lagos? And when Commissioner Banire was in power as Commissioner for Environment? You can't do that. We sanitize the entire Oshodi. You can't even sit in, and they put proper infrastructure in place. And they even let the law take its course, because there is environmental sanitation offences tribunal. Kai was effective. They are not the Kai that we have today chasing market women blocking the road. They are effective in the area of monitoring people that drop anything from the car. They even inspect the basket that is supposed to be in your vehicle for people that want to throw away waste, so that they have basket to contain the waste in the buses, in our buses. So it's boiled down on who is implementing the policy, and it boiled down on who is enforcing it. People, Nigerians like to obey law, but if they see enforcement, so we need to work on our enforcement. We need to put in more infrastructure for enforcing the law. It's not just to put. See, I tell you of what I saw in Canada. When we were at the conference, from the gate, the entrance of the conference, the security are there, monitoring, screening our belongings before we get to, and by the time we get to the conference center, at each gate, there is water dispenser. The vendors are there to serve us coffee with plastic and with paper bag. And we used to have it in Lagos. There's what we call policy on plastic buyback. Don't forget that a lot of industry has sprung up from plastic recycling in Nigeria today. To remove plastic from our daily system, in fact, all we need to do is just to start creating the circular economy from plastic pollution. Open new businesses from plastic through plastic waste management, because now they have been using plastic to construct road, asphalt road. They've been using plastic to produce a new plastic in a different form. That's to encourage the circular economy. So I'm not looking at the area where you are looking at. I'm looking at both economic impact, environmental impact, and social and health impact. But if they want to introduce it, the beauty of this law is that, this policy is that they are introducing it at a micro level and see the effect. But if care is not taken, if they don't put enough implementation plan in place, it will fail. And that will be a disaster for the bigger one they are looking for to execute in 2025. So I want to see the Honorable my advice is that the Honorable Minister of Environment and the Head of Civil Service of Federation, they should quickly come up and provide waste management infrastructure in terms of maybe the color-coded bin that they will use to mop up the one that is in the circulation. Because if you go to Federal Secretariat now and you look at the waste stream, what you find there is like sachets water bag, so or what we call pure water bag. Then you have pets, and it could be easily implemented by the higher hierarchy of the civil servant, but the lower cadre who are managing the little money they have. You are saying they will not drink, and water is life. So implementing it will be a very serious task, a Herculean task for the policymaker. So, but they can do it. It is doable, because I have seen where they are doing it, and if we can follow the right step, I think all of us will be able to achieve the set objective.
And some will perhaps say that the implementation of this might work if the federal government decides to, partner with the private sector, like you have mentioned, also making waste management an economy or a thriving business of its own. Another alternative to this styrofoam, the single-use plastics, you mentioned the paper plates. In some other countries, they use calabash, they use banana leaves. But you will agree with me that waste management is a habit in itself. And if the individual themselves do not cultivate this habit, no matter the number of awareness and sensitization, this will not be as effective like we would want it to. You mentioned going to the secretariat where waste are not being properly disposed. There was a time in Lagos State where waste were separated in containers in a way that this can be recycled. How do we ensure that these policies can be enduring? And also talk to us about some of these alternatives.
Thank you. The alternative that I will suggest, I don't know if you belong to the generation that when we are growing up, we used to take our soft drink in bottle, and you will deposit some money. They will give you the bottle with the content. You will return the bottle after taking the content, and you take your money back. That is a policy, one of the policies that, but can we reintroduce that? I'm not sure. Event has taken that kind of initiative. But the initiative I will say the federal government should try to introduce is encourage the use of paper, like in our like ShopRite, big supermarket. These are they use a lot of single-use plastic. So what do? We have to first reintroducing the use of paper bag. Go to American store, UK store, either you use the cloth bag, carrier bag, or you use paper bag. That is the alternative. Those ones are compostable. They are biodegradable. So these are the alternative. But are we now having to put the right implementation policy down to encourage paper manufacturer and the people that will produce the textile bag, so that, but it will add to the cost of selling the products that they are using, because everybody sees plastic as a very cheap, durable, and easy to discard. So look at our moi-moi. In those days, we used leaf to prepare moi-moi. Now you use low-density polyethylene bag to prepare moi-moi, and any food that is prepared and heat at hot temperature is cancerous to the body. So we need to start creating that awareness for people to see the difference between preserving our old culture to the new one. But can we do without plastic? In this era, no way. All we need to do now is to target the manufacturer and the user, the big manufacturer and the user. The new research that has just come out is that even at production level, the wastewater from the manufacturing of plastic contain microplastic that is even more toxic than the one we are talking about. And let me give you an example of the study we carried out in 2005 when President Tinubu was governor of Lagos. We did that study for the World Bank. I was a member of the team of the World Bank. I was one of the scientists. We have 2 scientists and 1 economist, because Lagos State was trying to access water fund from the World Bank for water improvement in 4 zones: Ebute Metta, Surulere, Lagos Island, Victoria Island, and the Ikoyi area. And the fund was to be released to Lagos State, I think about $200 million. And the World Bank called Lagos State and said, if we are going to release this water money for you, you need to come up with a study for wastewater. How will you manage wastewater? Because improvement in water supply will lead to increase in wastewater supply. The management of it will be catastrophic for you if you don't manage it properly. And we got to one of the medical institutions, Lutz, and the CMD then was telling us that, come, what are you trying to do? You said there is no, you are trying to study the health implication of wastewater. We said yes. He said, please, we are feeling it here positively. People are not having access to potable water anymore. But the advent of pure water has reduced the impact of cholera in our, it has brought down the number of people affected by cholera and waterborne diseases. So if we are able to give them the advice, if we are going to get that information from our tertiary institution, teaching institution, it means that if potable water, alternative to pure water, is make available potable water. And now you can see what is happening. We are having problem of cholera. Now, what is causing it? Maybe food and water intake. So the health implication of not having potable water and not preserving our water in the right container is very, very serious. So the alternative to that is that let's put the right waste management in place. Let's put the right infrastructure in place. Funding for implementing the infrastructure that will curtail the management and reduce the health, environment, social, and economic impact is what I will advocate that the federal government should keep on preparing for before they introduce to the general